I think we are back. So good evening and welcome back to League of Europe Formula 2. You just love it when your connection bloody dies on you. That's absolutely brilliant. But start of lap 5, we just ended the lap 1 when we disconnected. Verstappen of course got damaged, so anybody tuning in now, Verstappen got damaged, so Abel was ahead of him and has just spun through Sachs curve. But noticeably, Campbell has got ahead of Toxic, which is quite interesting. So Campbell ahead of Toxic for 9th position. Dylan is on the back of Killer Blue running down towards the hairpin at turn 6. Neil still leads the way though, 2.9 seconds. Looks like the German is beginning to dominate actually out on track from Killer Blue in 2nd. Dylan in 3rd, Larkin in 4th, and there's a battle going on further down the field. This is between what were the 2 championship leaders. It is still the 2 championship leaders, Campbell and Toxic. Let's to the outside line now. Can he get the move done around the outside? The Carling car against the Campos team. This is going to be quite interesting for the constructors as well. Looks like Toxic has got right side end plate damage, so that is why he's been overtaken by Campbell. So just to reiterate what happened with my connection just totally went at the end of lap 1. Campbell leads though in 9th position ahead of Toxic in 10th, and that is being completed once again by Campbell, so he gets the move done. He's up into 9th position. Start of lap 6, it is Neil who leads by nearly 3 seconds actually, the gap now from Killer Blue in 2nd, Dylan in 3rd. A bit of a mistake there from QVR Chill in the background, we caught that. He's trying to chase down, of course, I think it's B Morgan and the constructors, so he's doing a good job actually out on track is Chill. He's currently in 5th. And the Super Soft runners clearly coming into play, but you can tell the difference between the Super Softs and the mediums. The Super Soft compound tyre will be quicker. They come through parabolic once again. Let's ride on board with Dylan. Taking flat out, 185 mile an hour, coming down the straight. Killer Blue trying to break out the toe. Dylan not going to be close enough though for the move. They're going to brake nice and steadily for the hairpin and get through without any dramas at all. Toxic trying to get onto the back of Campbell once again, running down towards the turn 6 hairpin. Both of them just running out wide slightly. Verstappen responding, fastest lap of the race for my prediction for 3rd position. Verstappen is in 17th at the minute after picking up front wing damage early. He looked like he got caught in a collision with Sir Ibble, and I'm not sure actually if Sable's been into the pits. He hasn't, so Sable has just been purely struggling out on track. QVR Nico, by the way, quite close to the back of B Morgan. This is for 12th and 13th as Toxic picks up a 3-second time penalty. So it'll be quite interesting to see if there's been any penalties picked up since we have gone. But Toxic right on the back of Campbell. Thank you very much for tuning in, by the way. If you are tuning in now to the part 2 of League of Europe Formula 2. Again, apologies about my connection. It just suddenly died on me and tanked, and yeah, it came back. I don't get it. Toxic on the back of Campbell. 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings for Gary. Toxic through turn 1. Looking good on the back of Campbell here. Scotsman against Britt. Of course, Campbell is 2nd in the championship, well ahead of Verstappen, and currently both Carlings are trying to outscore the Campos team actually. So Toxic on the back of Campbell, if he gets past, he's going to be outscoring the Campos team. Campos of course lead coming into the constructors battle, and Toxic is going to go for the seam up the inside down towards turn 6. Can he get the move done? Campbell's going to try the switchback, but I'm afraid he's not going to get past that easily as Toxic is through and he's up into 9th position. Could be that with right side end plate damage, remember, he has got on his car. Damon's on the back of Braid just ahead as well. Oh, and Campbell nearly locks up into the back of Toxic. Good avoiding action there by Campbell. No penalty picked up either. Larkin has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Verstappen already on the back of Sir Ebel. This is for the proverbial wooden spoon out on track. And Verstappen easily gets past. He's on the inside. He's on fresher Super Soft compound of tyres, and he's through and he's up into 16th position. Everyone's still going around out on track. All 17 drivers start to go on to lap 8. Neil leads. Killer Blue in 2nd. Dylan in 3rd. Dylan hanging on to the back of Killer Blue here. Of course, MP Motorsport against our Grand Prix. And Dylan is on the back with Dutchman against Killer Blue the Brits. Damon, 3-second time penalty. That was picked up through turn 1. He's on the back of Bray. We'll cut to that in just a second. But Dylan on the back of Killer Blue. This is looking closer this time for Dylan. He switches to the inside line now, the Dutchman. And he's about to get through. Down the inside line he goes. and he should get the move done unless Killer Blue is quite potent around the outside on the traction. He's not. Dylan perfects that move into the hairpin and is up into second position. Whether he can close now on Neo, who's got a big advantage going in towards Sax's curve section at turns 12 and 13. 3.7 seconds the gap. The German could really be noticeably getting on top. Nico, by the way, has just gone past B. Morgan. Interesting battle that, of course. Nico being teammates with QBR Chill. So both of those cars hoping to do well. Nico in the Arc Grand Prix, I do apologise. I think I said that Dylan is in the Arc Grand Prix. He is not. He's in the Sauber Junior car. So thank you to anyone that might have put that out in the comment section. Yeah, Nico and Chill both in the Arc Grand Prix. Dylan in the Sauber Junior. The only Sauber Junior actually out on track tonight, with of course the Prima of Neil leading the way. So different, you can see how similar the colours are on the left hand side. That's why I get confused every single time between our Grand Prix and the Sauber Junior team. Larkin in the meantime on the back of Killer Blue, and he's closing in onto the back of Dylan as well. Dylan in second, Killer Blue third, Larkin in fourth position. Running up through Parabolica. Dylan, B. Morgan picking up a 3 second time but lead through turn 1. Killer Blue getting close to the back of Dylan. Is he close enough to try and go for the move? See the flames spitting out of the back of the Sauber Junior car. Killer Blue not close enough, and they remain in position. So pretty much in single file. Beyonce would be proud of this formation. Neil is in the lead by 4 seconds from Dylan, Killer Blue and Larkin. The battle you're on board with at this moment in time. Toxic, looks like Damon might have just overshot the corner slightly. Toxic getting up the inside there. Looks like he's lagging slightly on my end. Hopefully that's not anything concerning. But Toxic is through, and he's up the inside of Damon. Through up to P8 he goes. And Campbell now has got a car pretty much in his way at this moment in time, because Campbell's got to try and close in on Toxic. The championship lead is already gone. The championship has already gone last race at Silverstone, so Campbell's chance now is as your JT just tries to defend that around the outside, cutting on board. Some great action there. Nico was trying to go up the inside of turn 12. Your JT having none of it and goes around the outside of him. Good move that by your JT. Good defensive driving. He's on his other super soft compound tyres, the Scotsman. He's through and he's up into 11th place still, but look at the run that Nico has got. Those super softs are clearly wearing off. And Nico has already got the move done down the start-finish straight. You never really see any moves getting done down the start-finish straight. Could see a move down into turn 1 as well for B. Morgan, and he absolutely sails past your JT. So clearly overrunning those tyres a bit. Down into the hairpin, Killer Blue has got past on Dylan. Larkin trying to filter through there as well. But some good action after out on track as Campbell tries to get through on Damon here, running through Parabolic with turn 5 and out towards turn 6. Verstappen, new fastest lap of the race, 25.8. Campbell down the inside line. He's got the move done. You can tell by the inside line there. Damon just overshooting onto the marble slightly. A little bit squirrely on the exit. But now the delta time is beginning to change. You can see Toxic and Campbell now beginning to get into this race. It is more potent and more difficult actually for the medium runners who have started on those tyres at the start of the race to get into contention around here. It is a track where you can really stretch out the margin quite vigorously and not and hold it back. Neil, by the way, is into the pit from the lead of the race, and Killer Blue just cutting over the pit entry there. I saw that. And Larkin as well is into the pit. So 3 out of the top 4 are in. Neo obviously going to go set of mediums. 27 laps in a set of mediums probably will be bread and butter, to be honest, in terms of strategy. But whether they can last or not is a different thing. Neo coming out of the pit, held up slightly actually by Killer Blue, I think that was, coming into the pit, and Killer Blue going to rejoin ahead of Larkin. Barely though, about 0.5 of a second I think they're going to be coming out of the pits. Killer Blue speeds on, and Larkin nearly losing it out of the pit lane actually. So Killer Blue rejoins behind his teammate, which is not too bad because your JT on a different strategy will come into the pits next lap around. We should see Dylan, Chill and Bray into the pits as well, but Killer Blue on a fresh set of tyres should make absolute mincemeat of his teammate here, and you can already tell with the straight line speed difference Killer Blue is going to absolutely sail past. And I wonder if your JT is going to hold up Larkin a little bit as well. MP Motorsport could be playing an absolute blinder here for Killer Blue, who of course has to undercut Neo, but looking at the gap between Neo and Killer Blue, it's about 5 seconds, 5.2 seconds I think I'll make that at. Gary and Car Mentalist side by side. Oh, they force each other a little bit off track. Car Mentalist sliding the car. Don't think he's had as much practice as what he would have hoped. Clearly running behind schedule today, Car Mentalist. Gary on the back of Car Mentalist. Just looked like a little bit of contact was made between the two. Dylan is into the pit from the lead of the race. So Ibbo is into the pit as well from the back of the field. With Dylan into the pit lane. So the medium goes on. 26 laps he will have to do on those tyres. Toxic and Campbell come past his pit position. Neil, by the way, is coming down towards turn 1, so he's going to be out ahead of Dylan here, and Dylan is going to be behind Killer Blue possibly as well. Killer Blue just coming through turn 1, he's just flew through camera shot. Oh my god almighty, Dylan! Somehow he's held that within the white lines as well. Full credit to the man at the moment there. Dylan nearly lose it. You saw him nearly make contact with that pit wall. How on earth he didn't is beyond me, and how on earth he didn't come into a live racing track is beyond me as well. Campbell and Toxic having a good battle here. The two Brits. This is 4th, 2nd and 3rd up this stage. They're going to be well behind when it comes to later on in the race. A little bit of lag there actually. Both running inside of each other. Hope we're not getting a bit of a desync between these two. Campbell is down the inside. Toxic in him at the minute. But Toxic holds on to the position. I think Campbell just having to bear with, I think, on that one. A little bit of PG-18 going on there. Not as bad as what Matthias did on Saturday, I must say. But Toxic is back through and he's into 2nd. Just a little bit of lag picking up maybe on Toxic's end, as I say. Neil, 4 seconds behind. Whether he can close that gap to Campbell as well is a different question. And you never know, I think he probably will. He's on fresher tyres. I mean, it's 3.6 seconds already, so Neil is beginning to close that gap. Tenfold pretty much out on track. So he will close the gap. Probably in the next 4 laps or so, he will be on the back of these two. And apologies again by me disconnecting from the session. I don't know what happened with my internet. Neil finally going to win. Yeah, Neil's looking quite dominant, I've got to be honest. Neil's looked quite dominant so far out on track. Saying Mark there in the comment section. Now Campbell is on the back of Toxic. This would have been great if the championship wasn't already decided, but Campbell's down the inside line on the Scotsman down the inside line, I should say, on the Brit. Just messing up his braking point, forcing him off track, but I've got to say, fair racing I think there from Campbell. It's what you normally see in real life when they go side by side through the hairpin. Campbell forcing Toxic onto the outside line, and he's through and he's up into 2nd position. Good move that, he had the car totally ahead going into the corner. Toxic just ran out of racing room. Simple as that, nothing more, nothing less. Killer Blue on the back then of Nico now. He's got past B Morgan actually out on track. So Killer Blue now beginning to close down. And the gap looks like it is 4.4 seconds. Killer Blue outpacing Neo at this stage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that gap is about 4.4 seconds. So Killer Blue has caught about 8 tenths on Neo coming out the pit lane. So that could be very, very good to see. Gap just beginning to extend now with Neil running in a bit of clean air. There's the yellow flag in Sector 2, Sector 3. It is Sir Ibbo getting out of the way of some back markers. I think that was Car Mentalist possibly. He was getting out of the way. In fact, it was actually, looked like it was Damon perhaps. Yeah, your JT's running behind Matt on track, so that'll make sense. Killer Blue then on the back of Nico. You can see tyre difference beginning to come into play. Worn set of mediums don't really do last quite long around here, and they don't degrade at what you might think. The rest you might think it's about 3% the rate around here. It's 5% for the super soft. Verstappen doing well, and Chill doing well as well on a 13 lap old set of super soft. But now Killer Blue to the inside line on Nico, and just in the background Larkin getting the move done on B Morgan. Killer Blue sails it up the inside. He's went too deep. A little bit of contact on the exit of the corner. To be honest, I think Killer Blue would have had the natural racing line. He was on the outside line. Nico just really, I would love to criticise him. He didn't look like he gave him too much room, to be honest. But Killer Blue gets the move done anyways, and he's through and he's up into 5th position. Nico's 6th, Larkin 7th, getting that move done on B Morgan. Next up for B Morgan, perhaps to be overtaken, is Dylan. Dylan on the back of these guys, currently in a net 4th position. PVR Chill is into the pit lane. Should be coming out around Dan Gary, I think, sort of area possibly. We'll see how he goes. Actually, he was about 5th, wasn't he? So Chill might come out in and around Killer Blue Nico sort of area. They're coming around the final corner now. He's going to be actually quite behind these guys, to be honest. Yeah, he's going to be well behind these guys. So Chill coming out of the pit lane, although his pit stop, or his pit box is at the bottom end of the pit lane, he is going to be out just in front of Dan. So pretty much in where I pretty much said. Dylan down the inside line of B Morgan, and he just makes that look pretty easy down the inside. And he's through and he's up into second position. Dylan now, but B Morgan will have the distinct advantage of having DRS down the straight. Lap 15 already. This race is beginning to fly over actually. B Morgan to the inside line now. On Dylan, trying to get the move done. Can he get the move done? Down the inside. Ooh, bit of a half commitment. He's on all the tyres, and, well, Dylan just runs around the outside of him. Fresher tyres. Clean as you like. Dylan through and he's up to 7th. Bray getting past Carmentless down the straight. Carmentless looking a shadow of his own self, to be honest. Looks like he's got left side end plate damage as well, if I'm not mistaken. So Carmentless struggling with end plate damage, which is probably why he is a shadow of his own self here tonight. He was a little bit late as well. Probably hasn't got as much practice as what he would have hoped. But he's doing a good job out on track, Carmentless. He's in 13th position. Battle for the lead beginning to heat up. Look at how much Neil has caught up onto the back of Toxic. Purely running in clean air, Neil was on the back of Toxic. Sun's still out here in Hockenheim. We're about to approach the halfway stage in about 3 laps time or so. Toxic cutting turn 1 there, picking up a slight penalty. Locking though on the back of Nico in the meantime. And Carlin currently outscoring both Campos when Campbell comes into the pits. Campbell is going to be well down the field along with Toxic. Don't think you're going to be seeing these guys win, to be honest. That was my prediction possibly at the end of the race. Larkin on the back of Nico. Probably see where this is going to go, but the F2 cars really struggle to get into full chat out on track. But there, Larkin cuts across, gets the move done, and that is QVR Chill getting through on B Morgan and behind. So Chill down the inside line, B Morgan locking up slightly, goes too deep into the corner, and that was already going to be QVR Chill's move. He's through and he's up into 8th position. Oh my god, my shoulder is very sore from my workout earlier on, and I'm trying to relinquish it. If somebody can get me some of that oil, that massage oil that you can rub into yourself, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I've got some on the right hand side of me in my bedroom. It's in my little box where I keep all my stuff, so I'll be applying a little bit of that later. So yeah, I need a massage. I wish my girlfriend was here, to be honest. But Toxic on the back of Campbell. Lap 17 about to start here in Formula 2, and it is Campbell who leads from Toxic in 2nd. Neil was in 3rd. Killer Blue was in wall push-ups as well. Incline wall push-ups and push-offs as well on my wall. So that was not great. And I've also done like squats and stuff like that. Neil though, in the meantime, on the back of Toxic. So, the German trying to get through on the Brit. Very rare scenario where you see a ex-Division 1 driver against a current Division 1 driver. But Neil, I can gladly report, is coming back for next season of Season 4, as am I, for Season 4 of League of Europe. And I will be back commentating in Division 1. Whether or not I will get the opportunity to have a co-commentator is a different thing. However, you might have seen J. Cole joining me. I am glad to say he is going to be joining me for the final races of the season, and I have heard on the rumour mill he could be joining me next season and giving Division 3 up to somebody else. That's what I've heard. I'm not sure if anybody can confirm that within the comment section, but I'm certainly going to be here for Season 4 of League of Europe, and I think with how we're going to progress, and obviously with it going to be run on the new game as well, we should hopefully see some good league racing action. But don't set up the league just like immediately. Give it 4 to 6 weeks, I think, of the game to really try and get in terms of patches and stuff like that. It's impossible to run a league on the first week of the game. I've seen a league do it before on the new game, and trust me, probably one of the worst leagues you might ever see. That's what I've got to be honest with. Neo on the back of Toxic. Beautiful run out of turn 1. Can he get the move done down the inside of turn 2? Remember, Toxic is vulnerable to that right side end plate damage that he's got out on track. And now Neo's on the back. Could let Campbell begin to get away though. He's just sneaking away, and he's out of DRS to actually Toxic. Neo on the back. of him. Oh, and he's trying to overtake him down the inside. Toxic giving no room at all, but he has to give him room because Neil just sails on by down the inside. And it's the Prima against the Carlin, and the Prima comes out on top. Front wing damage against no front wing damage. You're always going to get the move done there. Neil's through and he's up to second. Nico on the back of QVR Chill. Two Ocon free drivers found it out. Is Chill, I wonder, is Nico, sorry, gonna let through Chill? And the answer, I think, was yes, because Chill got the move done down the straight. Dan and Gary having a bit of a set too, and Gary having a bit of a half spin coming out of the turn. Pits as a result of him just putting in, I think, the new tyres, because he was on a set of super soft compound tyres. Verstappen totally struggling out on track. Campbell, I think that would have been the wisest idea. But we are on to lap 20, so officially halfway through here in Germany. Campbell leads, Neil second, Toxic in third, Killer Blue fourth, with Larkin in fifth. The battle you're on board with now is this battle between Killer Blue and Larkin out on track. Top five spread by about 6 seconds out on track. Of course, some guys still have to pit, which is very good indeed. And just confirming about the plan for Season 4, I've been told that J. Cole is going to be alongside me for Season 4 of League of It, which I think will be fantastic for Division 1. Larkin, though, getting the move done in the meantime. On the back, down the inside, and the Carlin man sails through Parabolica, gets the move done. Remember, don't discount Larkin out of this race. He's through, and he's up into a net P2 out on track, but that, of course, was for 4th position out on track. Verstappen gets new fastest lap. He's on the back of EOJT. Coming through turn 1. Looks like Verstappen will probably get the move done. I would say this is for the proverbial wooden spoon, but it isn't. It's for 15th position, the final point scoring position. And Verstappen just switches a look at the insane run that Verstappen got there. That is how you take a run through turn 3 and 4. And Verstappen is through. And he's absolutely made a mug out of your JT, if I've got to be honest there. Verstappen is through, and he's up into 15th position. Easy, easy, easy. Or easy peasy, lemon squeezy, whatever you like to call it. Neo, on the back of Campbell though in the meantime. Is it going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy, I wonder, for Neo? No, he's not using up any DRS running down the straight. Toxic, another 3-second time penalty through turn 1. Time penalties might be holding them back later on in the race. Neil, though, on the back of Campbell. Could be Division 1 drivers going at it once again. Neil, of course, joining next season. Campbell, in the meantime, is under pressure. He switches to the inside line. Neil's going to have to do it the hard way around the outside, but always don't discount the traction that the car will get around the outside of this corner. And, yeah, that just speaks for itself, I think. Neil is through, and he's up into the lead of the race. Never force a driver to the outside, because they will always, 90% of the time, get the run on the driver in front, on the inside line, through the hairpin. This time, however, Gary was getting the move done on Dan, so Gary is through, and he's up into 10th, and Gary's been a little bit of an unknown quantity, I think, in this race, to be honest. The Irishman doing a very good job, I've got to say. He's just gone through on Dan. Drivers around him still have to pit as well, so Gary could be ending up, possibly, top 6, top 7. And maybe out on track for the Irishman, which is very rare because you normally see him bottle in Formula 2. I'll say that quietly, bottle in Formula 2. Gary on the back, or trying to chase down B. Morgan as Neil, new fastest lap of the race, 25.775. I think that was only a couple of thousandths quicker than Verstappen. In fact, it was a 28, so and Larkin responds actually. So it's only 800ths of a second actually between Neil, Larkin and Verstappen in terms of fastest lap of the race. I probably missed a couple of others out as well. Campbell, though, in the meantime, trying to chase down Neil, but 6/10 through Parabolica is not enough to gain coming down the straight. Campbell on the back of Neil. You can see he's not going to get the move done. Not close enough quick enough. Close enough very quick and low on the brakes. Notice braking point through there, Campbell. But I've got to be honest, these guys are going to have to try and go nigh on 30 laps, I think, on a set of mediums, because you saw earlier on Verstappen go, or the first drivers actually go from around lap 8 into the pit lane. So in theory, these guys will be pitting in around lap 29, lap 30, I think, in terms of strategy. 28, 29 laps on a set of mediums, and then 8 or 9 laps on a set of super softs. So super softs clearly going to be quicker towards the end. The pace difference is going to be, I think, 2 seconds per lap initially, but after 4 laps it will probably decrease by about half a second a lap, and it will begin to go quite even, probably by the end of the stint, probably around 7 or 8 laps into that stint. So Dylan on the back of Killer Blue in the meantime, both fighting for net position out on track. This will be for net third. Killer Blue has just struggled, I think, out on track. I said the track would be made for him. I'm certainly right in saying that, but Dylan looking visibly quicker out on track at him at this stage in the race. Have a junior against MP Motorsport as they come down towards turn 2. 5th and 6th. You are just tuning in to League of Real Formula 2 and wondering why this is part 2. It's because my disconnection, my connection totally disconnected myself. Dylan on the back of Killer Blue, trying to get the move done here, and you can probably see where this is going to go. Dylan to the inside line, Killer Blue on the outside line. He's going to try and hold it around the outside. He could switch it back actually here, Killer Blue. And Dylan runs a little bit too deep, but Dylan has got the move. Superior traction again on the outside of the corner. Killer Blue is through, 2.5 tenths clear and clearing away. 3 tenths of a second now. Getting the move done, he's up into 5th position. Neil, by the way, pulling out a really stout gap, I've got to be honest, a really big gap. 4.7 seconds it is, in theory, to Larkin, who will be in second once Campbell and Toxic come into the pits. It's then a further 3 seconds back between Larkin and Dylan, so it's what, 4.9, 7.6, yeah, so it's going to be quite tight, I think. It's 2.8 seconds currently, the gap. That gap, I think, is going to increase by the bucket load. Campbell is into the pits. Toxic, interestingly, is into the pits as well. I thought that was him not coming into the pits, but Campbell, however, into the pits. 16 laps on a set of supers could possibly work, but I think they could have tried to last out the stint that little bit longer, like Nico and B Morgan I think are trying to do, trying to last out that stint just that little bit longer, so they've got fresher super softs coming towards the end. You can hear the whir of the engines coming out the pit lane. Campbell is going to be behind Dan, so in 10th position, and Toxic is going to be well out ahead of Bray, but that is Ibble going through turn 1. So Toxic is out, and has he got his end plate fixed? He hasn't. So Toxic is going to be going around on track with right side end plate damage, similar to what I said on Thursday. If you were watching TTL F1 League 1, and Toxic lost both wing end plates around Singapore. If he loses his wing end plate, it's going to be like a tea tray on that car, pretty much. He's going to be carrying some biscuits and probably some tea as well on that tray. And Toxic 1.3 seconds off. But now they can put the hammer down. Whether or not they're going to be close enough to try and get any sorts of moves done, or certainly get towards the top 5, remains to be seen. Don't discount them out though. I think it is quite unlikely they'll win, but don't discount them out possibly for a top 5, maybe even a top 3 at a push, I think. B Morgan on the back of Gary, the Irishman I think got through on B Morgan this lap around. Should see the rest of the guys coming into the pits. Yeah, Nico's going to decide to come into the pits now. So Nico in. Responds to Campbell and Toxic coming in behind him. B Morgan is in. Dan, however, stays out because B Morgan, obviously, his teammate just ahead of him out on track. Don't want to have a double stack. And Campbell is already on the back, actually, of Dan, running down towards turn 1. Could be moved down in towards turn 2, I think, if he can floor it. Just a little bit of hesitation going through the corner. Campbell to the inside line now through turn 2, or Dan going very slow into the corner. He's trying to hold up Campbell here. This could let Toxic into play, and Dan could have a big favour actually in the constructors as the cloud cover begins to come over here at the Hockenheim ring. Toxic on the back of Campbell. Campbell getting through on Dan. Can Toxic though get a double toe? He's going to get to the inside line here. Is he going to go for it on Dan? He will do. He's going to have superior tyres, and he gets the move done on Dan. Couldn't quite get the move done on Campbell, but these guys are going to rocket now through the field. It is 11.4 seconds back from Gary, 3.7 seconds between Campbell and Gary, 11.4 to Chill ahead of Gary in 6th position. So Gary in 6th, doing a good job, but I have a feeling he's going to be knocked down probably a couple of positions as a result. There's a good battle going on for 14th and 15th out on track as well, as it is between Verstappen and B Morgan. So B Morgan going to go around the outside here on Verstappen. My prediction for 3rd, of course. Oh, needless to say, House Ibble didn't cause that contact and try to get through. Nico was going through on Damon. That was around the outside, I think, through turn 12. He's got the move done there, has Nico. Morgan on the back. Dan is in pits, by the way. 2.9 seconds between Toxic and Gary and Campbell. It's about 3 seconds between Gary, Campbell and Toxic actually out on track. Chill getting through on Killer Blues, which is the outside line, gets the move done. But now Toxic on the back of Campbell. These two championship protagonists from last week. Toxic obviously wrapping up the championship, sails through down the inside. Campbell on the outside line though, just don't discount him out. Toxic runs a little bit too deep. Can Campbell get the superior run? No, it's always going to favour the traction on the outside of the corner. And Toxic is through once again. He's into 7th position. But these two, as long as they battle, Gary will begin to try and just sense up a little bit of, well, try and get away, essentially, from these guys. Verstappen has gone through on Car Mentalist. He's still out there on a split of 25 lap-old mediums. Doing a good job, I've got to say. He's going to be down in 16th, however. Not his race at all. Lap 27, by the way, has just been started. Neil leads 4.9 seconds from Larkin in 2nd. Dylan in 3rd. Chill in 4th. Killer Blue in 5th. B. Morgan has gone through on Car Mentalist down the inside of turn 8. So I've got that move done. Signed, sealed and delivered. I was on the mini-map, and a yellow flag in Sector 3. Sebel letting through, I think that was Nico he was letting through, if I'm not mistaken. Campbell on the back though of Toxic. Looks like it is getting quite cloudy out on track. Is there any chance of rain, I wonder, out on track? So I think the rain cloud's beginning to try and build over the circuit. Gary, so Toxic and Campbell by the end of this lap are going to be right on top of the Irishman. Can the Scotsman, they'll get the move done on their Brits. Campbell to the inside line. Is he going to try and get the move done? Oh, he's very late on the brakes. He's overcommitted this, surely. This is going to be Toxic's move night and day. Yeah, Campbell realised that. He was overpowered down. He was literally overpowered like Mr. Motivator in a 10-minute workout. Campbell down the inside. Went way too deep on Toxic. Toxic takes full advantage. He's back through and he's up into 7th position. Killer Blue on the back of Chill. Still 6/10 of a second as well. B. Morgan catching Verstappen. Verstappen has undercut quite a few of these guys actually. He's undercut Dan for sure. And Yo JT. Comments has obviously just coming out of the pit then. He's been lapped actually by Neo. They were nice to have to be a lap driver, but Comments could channel his inner Esteban Ocon, I wonder. Esteban Ocon against Verstappen again? Kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Gary on the under pressure now from Toxic and Campbell, as the cloud cover still begins to come over the track. Maybe tell when it is going to rain, if it is going to rain. Campbell runs around the outside of turn 1, gets a 3-second time penalty, so that now adds up, I think, to either 3 or 6 seconds, I'm pretty sure he's got. But Toxic on the back of Gary. This is looking maybe a good move here for Toxic to try and complete. He'll try and switch it to the inside line. Oh, and he thought about it, but Gary is sticking firm to that inside line. Toxic, I think, on the brakes is going to have this move done. Yeah, you can see the car fully ahead going into the corner, and Toxic ran the outside of Gary. Gary, a little bit of a squirrely moment there, and now Campbell is side by side with him. This is a position, remember. Campbell down the inside line going down towards turn 8. This is the Mercedes-Benz section. Gary just turning in on Campbell slightly, but Campbell forcing that car through, not having any of that. Good driving between them both. Campbell is through on superior tyres with superior pace, and he's through and he's up to 7th. But now the mountain is in front of them rather than behind them, because Toxic and Campbell 6th and 7th. It's 10 seconds roughly the gap between Killer Blue and Toxic. Whether that gap will close enough towards the end of the race remains to be seen. I think it's going to get probably around the 4-second mark, 5-second mark, before those tyres really begin to degrade and really begin to blister. Toxic just respond out of nowhere, 24.3, new fastest lap of the race. Morgan, by the way, did get that move done on Verstappen. I think it was down into the hairpin he might have got him. It's been Morgan as soon, he's up to 12th. Verstappen doing a good job in 13th, but now he's in a bit of a Dam's sandwich out on track, because Dan is now 2 seconds behind on his fellow Dutchman, on his fellow countryman. And 1.8 seconds, that gap beginning to close down, 1.7. You can see the engineers there to the left-hand side holding up the pit boards. We've got 9 laps to go, 8.5 have been picky. Neil, by the way, is coming round into the final couple of corners to start lap 30 out on track. This race has actually flew over since the disconnect happened, and to be honest, it's been a very good race. There's been a lot of good, clean driving standards. A little bit of argy-bargy through lap 1, but it's not really the race you would have been expecting, to be honest. Season finale certainly not really living up to that. Oh, and B. Morgan just sailed it down the inside. Now it lives up to a season finale because B. Morgan has just sailed it down the inside. Whether fresh tyres or not is a different question. But B. Morgan is through and he's up into 11th position. 8.8 seconds now off the back of Nico, but they're both on the same strategy. I don't think that gap will come down anytime soon. 8.2 seconds, by the way, now between Toxic and Killer Blue. Killer Blue currently on for 5th. It's Neil, though, who has dominated. Let's have a look at position changes, because I don't think we've done this all race. We haven't seen the position changes out on track. We're right on board with this great battle between Toxic and Campbell. But, in the meantime, 11 positions gained for Toxic, 9 positions gained for Campbell. Damon's gone the other way, he's dropped 11. Sebel's dropped 14 as well, and he's nearly dropped the car through turn 12 as well. Campbell on the back, though, of... Oh, and that Killer Blue has gone off. Killer Blue has gone off. Has he retired the car? Killer Blue is... Not sure what happened there. Killer Blue's trying to go around the... Campbell's trying to go around the outside of Toxic. We'll try and get on board with Gary. Really not sure what happened there between Killer Blue. Hopefully there's some explanation. Campbell and Toxic are still having the right set 2 down towards turn 8, trying to get the move done. Campbell just forces Toxic out of the way, saying, no son, you're not coming through. Campbell's through and he's up into 5th position once again. Hard, fair racing between these two, and I probably think they've got respect for each other. Even though Campbell has given up on the championship, he's certainly not giving up on the fight with Toxic, and he's doing a fantastic job out on track. In fact, they both are doing a fantastic job out on track. Not sure what happened with Killer Blue, as I say. It looked very strange. I can only imagine it was a gearbox failure. That's the only reason I've got, I think, for him to go out of the race like that. But let me have a look, see if there hasn't been any comments actually made about that. So hopefully Killer Blue can make a comment on that. It looked to me as if it had to have been. It had to have been a gearbox failure. He's been riddled with gearbox failures this season. I think he's had 3 or 4 off the top of my mind, if I'm not being too harsh on him. I'm sure he's had at least 2 or 3, maybe even 4. But Nico on the back of Bray, though, in the meantime. Toxic is on the back of Campbell. Not getting the move done there, though, but Nico on the back of Bray. Maltese man against Dutchman, where he'll be hoping he can get some Maltesers after this one. That's a bad joke, I know. Nico has got on the inside on though, and the Spaniard is through and he's up the inside. He's up into P8, so the Spaniard through and he's up to P8. Good to see as well Spain getting out of their lockdown in terms of coronavirus. If you want to go back and watch a rant in part 1 of League of Europe Formula 2 Championship, as Toxic goes wide, taking too much speed there. Through into turn 12. Now through Sachs Curve. Toxic just overrunning it a little bit. Maybe the tyres, maybe beginning to give up on him at this stage. Let's see if we can see any blistering on those tyres. We can't. Got superior pace, but that gap is only 8.7 seconds, and it's not really coming down, to be honest, now between Campbell and Chill. So Chill looking like he is chilling in 4th position for now. Campbell in 5th, Toxic in 6th. Again, very bad pun. Cut at me in the comment section if you think my puns are bad. There's the yellow flag in sector 1, so Ibo has spun. So Sebo is round. Killer Blue will be down in, will be the only DNF I think out of this race. Sebo will probably continue on. Dan in the meantime on the back of Verstappen. And this, I got quite close for a couple of laps actually. Dan trying to get through. Remember, Dan on 6-lap all tyres, Verstappen on 14-lap all tyres. And Dan on the back of Verstappen here trying to get the move done. A bit of overcommitment from both of them there, missing the apex, but Verstappen clearly getting the better run. And Dan, an 0.8 of a second, pretty much impossible to catch unless you're Daniel Ricciardo, and you're going to dive it down the inside. Dan might be channeling his inner Dan, and Gary is out of the race. So Gary is out of the race, and that is through the Mercedes-Benz section. I think that's a gearbox failure as well. Unless he's just purely lost that, out on track. We'll see for ourselves. Is that car making any attempt to get around? It looks like it might have been another gearbox failure. So Gary is out of the race. Everyone just overrunning themselves, maybe overrunning the gearbox. And Gary is out of the race unexpectedly as well. It didn't look like there was any contact with the wall or anything. So 2 possible gearbox failures have riddled Killer Blue and Gary. Maybe 2 of the most unluckiest people have got another bit of rotten luck out on track, which is a shame. I'll never like to see bad luck being given to any driver, but especially to Killer Blue and Gary, who've just been riddled with problems in the Formula 2 Championship, and Killer Blue especially with his gearbox problems. In the meantime, Toxic closing in on Campbell, trying to have a bit of a half look. He's going to have a full look down the inside. Campbell sees him coming. 3-second time penalty picked up. To be honest, I think that was maybe deserved. Toxic trying to go for a move that was really going to go, and Campbell thought he had every right of way in the corner. Toxic is going to give his all in these last 5 laps or so, but not needed to go down the inside. Campbell broke early for the corner. I totally understand that. Toxic was always going to go for a gap that was closing. That is my opinion on that. And Toxic, I think 3-second time penalty probably deserved. It looked like Campbell forced him off. I think it was purely him trying to go for the inside line. Ibble in the points. Yeah, Ibble now in the points. Gary's DNF coming out of play. Dan is on the back of Verstappen, trying to go around the outside into turn 8. Can he get the move done? Let's have a look. Yeah, Dan trying to go around the outside. Just to confirm, by the way, Gary did have gearbox failure. So Gary did have gearbox failure out on track, and I think Killer Blue might have been the same as well. So Ibble now has been gifted points because of Gary and Killer Blue's failure to complete the entire 38 laps. But gearbox failures aren't really that rare, to be honest, in the Formula 2 Championship. You normally see them at tracks that are very high dependent. Toxic trying to go around the outside into the hairpin. Not going to get him done. A little bit of a bump tap there. Little tap on the back there from Toxic to Campbell. At least it's not car sex like we saw in Division 1. And Toxic to go down the inside line. Campbell, does he see it coming? He does. He sees round the outside. Can the Scotsman do this? And he has. Campbell defends valiantly to get off the move, and he's doing his up to P5. Toxic trying to get a little bit of heat on the tyres. He just saw the little mini wiggle, and as he did through the corner. He's still going around with white cell end plate damage as well as Toxic. He's doing a phenomenal job out on track. Last 4 laps have just begun. Larkin is in second, but Neil leads the way at 6.5 seconds. Larkin in second. Dylan has driven very well in third position. Chill is in fourth, and the later the guys pit stopped actually within the top 5, the better they are towards the end of the race. Because Campbell and Toxic have totally underdone their strategy. Campbell, 3-second time penalty there. But just to come back to what I was saying, they've totally underdone their strategy. So Toxic and Campbell pitted in possibly a couple of laps too early. Nico not really catching him behind, but they pitted in, for my reckoning, a little bit too early out on track. Chill in fourth position. I think the last time, by the way, if I remember, Killer Blue picked up a gearbox failure. I'm not sure. I think it was Italy, if I'm not mistaken, or Dan having a bit of a moment slide there. Turn 1 picks up a 3-second time penalty for his pain as well. Dan still on the back of Verstappen. These have looked quite close, but Dan, purely with those tyres now, is not going to get past Verstappen in a hurry. Got a little inkling of rain that I've just seen on my screen. Don't think it was. It might have been something coming across. Let's find out. Dan on the back of Verstappen. Can he get the move done? No. Is the answer. A little bit of a lag back there from Verstappen, but in 10th position. So we'll now go into the point scoring positions. Has gone through on Gary's car there. He's 2 laps behind everyone else, but doing a good job out on track. He set fastest lap of the race. That'll be insane. Last 3 laps to go. Neil leads 6.6 seconds. It's really been a dominant race from Neil's perspective. Got the gap early. Was already over a second before we disconnected in part 1. We came back to lap 4 and he was something like 3 seconds clear of everyone else. And Neil was just dominated for that and has actually extended the gap during the second stint. Doing a fantastic job. 6.6 seconds. Larkin in second. Dylan in third. Chill in fourth. Campbell and Toxic now. I fear they've sorted themselves out. But Dan and Verstappen mightn't have. Dan and Verstappen mightn't have. Looks like it's getting a little bit clearer actually out on track now. Dan trying to fight the car through turn 1 again. Doesn't want to get caught on the outside curb. You don't want to go for a 360 spin like Leclerc did in 2017 or 2018. Dan is on the back on again, catches the curve on the inside. Just taking risks that are not really needed, to be honest. But it looks like the conditions are beginning to improve, so the track is going to really warm up again out on track. So the super softs could have that last burst of energy. And if your likes of Dan and Toxic, who are about a second off the pace, or 5/10 off the pace in terms of Dan, or 2/10 out off the pace if you were a car mentalist, then obviously with the track warming up, these guys are going to be hoping for some good results. Verstappen is round through turn 8 and car mentalist getting the move done on your JT around the outside of turn 4. Gets the move done. Fresher tyres. What's that? 15 laps inferior tyres for car mentalist. He's up to 13th position. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. It's Ebel once again. Don't be concerned. So car mentalist is through on your JT, and your JT has actually got the leaders chasing them down. I think that's Larkin actually behind them. Yeah, it is. It's Larkin behind them. Neil is now 5 seconds leading. I'm not sure if there's been a bit of a mistake there, possibly from Leo out of the hairpin. Doing a good job still out on track. It's penultimate lap of the race. We're about to go into the final lap when they come across the line. Neil leads 5.1 seconds. I wonder if there might have been either a bit of a hold-up, or if Neil got put off maybe with car mentalist going for the move on your JT. It looks like we'd already been past though, so Neil is 5 seconds clear, coming around the final corner once again to start what will be the final lap of the race. And Dylan has spun! Dylan has spun! He's gone off track through turn 13. Killer Blue's left the session, so Dylan is round. He's lost end plate damage as well. He's got left side end plate damage. He recovers the car. He's going to recover in 6th position. Has he got a puncture to that car? Let's find out. No, he hasn't. He's just purely lost it on the curb, I think. So Dylan through the final corner, which will be for 6th position. Nico is coming around the final corner behind, so watch out for that. That could change. Neil, though, in towards the hairpin for the final time. Leads 5.1 seconds. Gap has stayed consistent now after that bit of a moment. So Neil leading. Going to be his first victory of the season for the German. And XL Neo has done a fantastic job out on track. We love to see him back for Season 4. I'm certain he will be a Division 1 driver. And I think out of this, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with if we have a Season 3 of League of Europe Formula 2. Neo could be a force to be reckoned with, and maybe a championship contender. You've heard it here first. Neo round Sachs curve for the final time. Now in towards Sud curve at turn 15 and turn 16 and 17. It is going to be the German at his home track. What a poignant moment this is. Neil round the final corner. He takes the win in Germany at the Hockenheim Ring. Fantastic drive, but a fantastic equally as drive from Larkin in second. Gets second, 5.3 seconds off. Chill across the line in third. He's done an amazing stoic job. The Scotsman. Campbell across the line in fourth. Another Scotsman coming in fourth. Toxic in fifth. Plenty of penalties added on though. Campbell probably not happy with this result, but comes across the line in fourth anyways. Your team commenters have already finished. Dylan coming across the line in sixth. Nico, the Spaniard, is going to be coming across the line in seventh position as well. Just over an hour, and actually Nico jumps up to fifth as a result of Toxic and Dylan's penalties. Bray around the final corner. He's got B. Morgan hunting him down. Maybe another lap for these two. Bray across the line, and B. Morgan just smashes his front wing off right at the end of the race. B. Morgan up to 8th, down up to 9th. Bray penalties. Damon and Verstappen, and Sebo as well. He's coming round slightly off track through Sud curve, but doing a good job out on track. Damon coming across the line in 11th position. Gary leaves the session. Gary and Killer Blue, the only two DNFs. Damon across the line in 11th. Verstappen will be across the line in 12th, and there is Sebo picking up the final point scoring position as well. Verstappen across the line to finish in 12th, but I'm not sure. Was that the fastest lap? I think Verstappen might have just stolen for Campos, and if it was, I think it might have been. So Verstappen jumps up to 11th as well, ahead of your JT, ahead of him I think it was. But it's Neo, the German, to the top step of the podium. The Prima team on top here in Germany. And Neil, we look forward to welcoming you back, I think, for Season 4. And he shows that he probably hasn't been missed. He's still got the pace. He's still got the know-how. Could be a great, exciting addition once again for Season 4 on the new game. Neo takes the win. Fantastic drive by Larkin and Kvyat Chill as well for second and third. And some fantastic racing out on track. And it is Neo who takes the win from Larkin in second, Chill in third. Campos wrap up the championship, by the way, still with 4th position for Campbell and 11th position for Verstappen. So the Carling team not doing enough. However, they have outscored them. Nico, by the way, across the line in 5th. Toxic across the line in 6th. It was a 23.3, by the way, for Verstappen on his fastest lap. Dylan across the line in 7th, B. Morgan in 8th, Dan in 9th, Bray in 10th, Verstappen in 11th, Damon in 12th, your JT in 13th, Commensalus 14th, Sable 3 laps down, but finishes in the points in 15th, Gary and Killer Blue, 2 DNFs, 2 gearbox fillies for them out on track, and unfortunately for them, playing no further part in the race, so the DNF'd out of the race. What an amazing season finale. Maybe one of the cleaner races of the season as well, which is good to see here in League of Europe Formula 2. I got to hope there might be a Season 3 of the Formula 2 Championship. If not, there might be something completely new on a Monday night. And you'll just have to really wait and see. Keep an eye on the League of Europe Discord. Keep an eye on @League of Europe on Twitter as well. You can even follow me on Twitter if you want as well, @B52head. That is @Bravo52head. So, thank you very much for tuning in tonight to the League of Europe Formula 2 Championship, the season finale here in Germany. I will reiterate my advice to you all. Regardless of where you live, stay at home, protect the NHS, protect your health service as well, and save lives. Ignore the government guidance, ignore the government strategy, and stay at home, protect the NHS and save lives, because that sounds better than stay alert, control the virus and save lives. That is for sure. Thank you so much for tuning in though here to Germany. We will be back live on Saturday for the final 2 rounds in America for Division 1, Division 2, Division 3 and Division 4. And for Division 1, you'll catch myself and Jekyll commentating around the circuit of the Americas. But until then, we'll also be live as well on Wednesday for GT Sport. If you want to see me contest a penalty, then that'll be much appreciated for you to tune in. RLH Short will be taking you through that one. ILRT Matty going to be taking you through Division 2. So until then, thank you very much for watching. I've been James Head. Thank you so much for watching. Stay at home. Protect the NHS, protect your health service, and save lives. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.